One more on the White House assessment of global food insecurity that's sort of coming out of all this in Ukraine. Is there any money that's going to be allocated to provide diesel fuel to Ukrainian farmers to try to mitigate some of this?
Yeah, so let me give you a couple of things on this, because there's been a lot of interesting reporting on this, and where the impacts are is a good question. While we're not expecting a food shortage here at home, we do anticipate that higher energy, fertilizer, wheat, and corn prices could impact the price of growing and purchasing critical food supplies for countries around the world. And early estimates from the World Bank suggest disproportionate impacts on low and middle income countries, including in Africa, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia. And Ukraine is a big exporter of fertilizer. So as it relates to even that need in the United States and other parts of the world, that's something that we're continuing to closely assess as well. But right now, to go back to the root of your question, we are working with our partners in the G7, multilateral development banks, the World Food Program, and the UN Food and Agriculture Organization to mitigate the impacts to poorer nations. So we are discussing what that looks like and how to mitigate the shortage on those growing and purchasing entities from impacting parts of the world that would be severely impacted, even if we're not.
What kind of a timeline do we think we have to take some action on that before it becomes a really big problem?
Well, there are active discussions now, and we're certainly mindful that even if we're not seeing an impact in this moment, that sometimes supply chain impacts can have having a lagging impact. So we're having discussions now with all of those partners. Those have been ongoing, so we can do everything we can to mitigate it in advance.
Have you noticed that as everything around you seems to decline, one thing still grows? It is the power of your rulers. None of their plans and directives have solved your problems or made your life better. The only result has been their increased control over you at the cost of your freedom. Do you know why? You gave them the power.